Welcome back, everyone, to the Madden 21 Denver Broncos franchise. And after a disappointing Week 1 on Monday Night Football against the Tennessee Titans, the Denver Broncos are looking to bounce back in Week 2. Week 1 showed Ryan Tannehill throwing for 3 touchdowns and 230 yards, while Drew Lock, as well as throwing over 200 yards, also threw a costly interception and got sacked a total number of 8 times. That's something that we need to limit there. On the ground, Derrick Henry got 172 yards rushing and a touchdown, while Philip Lindsay got 12 carries on 136 yards and a touchdown, but also had a costly fumble in the fourth quarter. For receiving, Jerry Jeudy had a great debut, 6 for 91. Didn't score a touchdown, though, while the Tennessee Titans scored 3 touchdowns. Philip Lindsay had the most receptions on the day. But as you can see, Adam Humphries, Jonnu Smith, and Derrick Henry caught the touchdown passes. On the defense, Jadeveon Clowney absolutely destroyed us, along with Jeffrey Simmons Jr. Malcolm Butler got a couple sacks in from the cornerback position. And it was a terrible game for that offensive line and for Drew Lock trying to throw the ball. We decided to simulate Week 2, and we got absolutely destroyed by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger threw for over 250 yards and 4 touchdowns, while Drew Lock just threw for just under 200 yards and actually threw 1 touchdown. 0 interceptions for his second game, so able to not turn the ball over this game. But another game where the Denver Broncos cannot score over 10 points. As well as you can see there, 5 sacks on this game. James Conner rushed for 27 attempts for 125 yards and a single touchdown. Jalen Samuels also happened to get into the end zone, while Melvin Gordon got the majority of the carries. I wonder why, when Philip Lindsay is the starter. That is definitely something we're going to have to look at here. Receiving, Deontay Johnson with over 100 yards and a single touchdown. James Washington caught 2 touchdowns, and Vance McDonald also caught a touchdown for the Steelers, while Jerry Jeudy was the 1 touchdown that the Broncos scored on the day, 1 catch for 39 yards. On the defense, Cameron Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, TJ Watt, Sean Davis, and Alex Highsmith were able to get the sacks on the game. Looking at re-signings here, I already re-signed Justin Simmons. We'll show his new contract here in a second, but Philip Lindsay is the next priority that we want to re-sign. But if we look at the menu here to start his negotiation, as you can see, we also have someone like Alexander Johnson that we might want to bring back. Depends on his age, though. But as we look at the menu here, Philip Lindsay, dislocated ankle, out for 7 weeks. This is something that Philip Lindsay has had to deal with for his career. He's been a little bit injury prone as a Denver Bronco. We're hoping that he can make a speedy recovery and hopefully can come back if we're in a spot for the playoffs. Looking at Justin Simmons here, our 26-year-old star safety. His new contract, 7 years, $64 million. And I'm just glad that we were able to re-sign him before free agency were to happen, because he is definitely a key piece to this defense. For scouting, we decided to use a preloaded draft class. For every other draft class beyond this, this is where we're going to start making some, real cool plays. Penei Sewell, great looking left tackle out of Oregon. Definitely someone that we are looking to maybe replace Garrett Bowles with if he continues to allow sacks. Gregory Rousseau, also a pretty decent pass rusher. A pursuit, B+ finesse, and B+ tackle. Could be a great addition to the defensive line. While we do have AJ Boye and Bryce Callahan, they are both getting up there in age, and maybe Patrick Surtain II might be someone we look to bring in. A little bit of a young defensive crew, with Michael Ojemudia also being a drafted cornerback for the Broncos. Another great outside linebacker, Micah Parsons, out of Penn State. A hit power, A- pursuit, and A- block shedding. Would definitely be in a good crowd along with Von Miller and Bradley Chubb. Another great-looking offensive lineman, Wyatt Davis, out of Ohio State. A- impact block, A- lead block, and B+ run block finesse. To definitely be someone we bring in to maybe play that left guard position as well. Has the good size for it. And the final player we decided to scout this week was Dylan Moses, out of Alabama. A+ hit power, A tackle, and A- pursuit. The Denver Broncos take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home on their second game at home this season. Can the Broncos defeat a familiar foe in Tom Brady, who has moved to a different team this year? Let's jump right into it, guys. Welcome back to Empower Field at Mile High as the Denver Broncos are preparing to take on the traveling Tampa Bay Buccaneers and a familiar foe in Tom Brady, who was the former quarterback of the New England Patriots. But this is a new year for both teams. Both teams have a new quarterback that is willing to lead them to the promised land. Drew Lock, 0-2 as a starter in 2020, while Tom Brady is 2-0 as a starter for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Broncos are looking to bounce back from 2 straight losses where they combined 20 points in both games, while their opponents have combined over 70 points. Can the Broncos bounce back and come back to win this game? Now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a lot of weapons. They have Tom Brady, of course. They have Rob Gronkowski, Mike Evans. But I think a dark horse for that team is Chris Godwin. As you can see here on the stats that is appearing, 7 receptions for 87 yards and a touchdown last week. And if the Broncos want a chance to beat the Buccaneers, they're going to have to contain these powerful wide receivers. To start off the game, we're going to play a couple of highlights from the game. It looks like the offense of our team was not able to do anything before, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to take over at the 17-yard line in the Denver red zone. 1st and 10. Tom Brady is going to take the snap and hand it off to LaShawn McCoy. He's going to dash the defense for about 10 yards on the play. LaShawn McCoy getting up there in age, but you can still move with the best of them. As that is going to bring up 1st and goal for the Buccaneers. Tom Brady in the shotgun with McCoy right next to him again. And Tom Brady's going to take the snap, hand it off to McCoy, and he's going to go forward up to the 3-yard line. The Broncos' defensive front not being able to hold off this early Russian attack. As you see the inactives for the Broncos, Phillip Lindsay's going to be gone for 7 weeks for this team. 2nd and goal for the Buccaneers. Tom Brady's going to take that snap and drop back, but Jarrell Casey is going to come up with the sack. That's going to drop the Buccaneers back down to the 7 and bring up 3rd and goal. The Broncos, remember, got Jarrell Casey from the Tennessee Titans for a 7th-round draft pick. And while Jarrell Casey's getting up there in age, he can still get to the quarterback pretty fast and bring him down. Great play by the Friends to not break on that play. As that is going to bring up 3rd and goal at the 7-yard line. Brady in the single back formation is going to drop back and he's going to dump it down to Gronkowski, but Mark Barron's able to knock it out of his hands. And that's going to bring up 4th and goal and lead to a Ryan Suckup field goal. On the second defensive Denver drive, they weren't able to get anything going, so we're going to jump back in at 3rd and 8 for the Buccaneers at the midfield marker. And Jarrell Casey, once again, is going to drop Tom Brady, but Brady's able to get the pass away before he could get registered for the sack. So far, this Denver defense is doing good at getting pressure on the older quarterback. And though Tom Brady does have some fight still left in him, there's not much you can do when there is a large defensive back on your, in front of your face. It's going to be a Bradley Pinion punt, and Deontay Spencer's going to field it, but it's going to go out of bounds at the 29-yard line. There's an injured Buccaneer on the play, Edwards. I hope he's okay as he's going to go to the sideline, and looking at the injury there, he was kind of grabbing at his leg. He looks pretty frustrated with himself, but it's going to be 1st and 10 for Drew Lock and the Broncos. Drew Lock is going to have Melvin Gordon in the backfield, play action. He's going to throw an awkward ball to Noah Fant, but nonetheless, it's going to be a first down for the Broncos team. That was a great play by Noah Fant to readjust to the ball to make the catch upfield. I feel like if Drew Lock would have hit him in stride, Noah Fant would have been able to go up the field for a little bit more yards on that play. But we got to make sure we can get this offense going no matter what. And if Noah Fant can get past people like Shaquille Barrett, who isn't that great in coverage, it's a good way to get going. First and 10 at the 47. Drew Lock's going to hand it off to Melvin Gordon, who's going to get up to about the 47-yard line of Tampa Bay. Second and 4 for Denver as they're going to hand off to Melvin again, who's going to get stopped after about a 1-yard gain. Third and 3 for Drew Lock and the Broncos. Drew Lock's going to take the snap. He's going to find Cortland Sutton on the baby out route there. Gets about an extra 10, maybe 7, 10 yards there. And that's going to bring the end of the first quarter. The Buccaneers are leading the Broncos 3-0, but the Broncos are on the move, looking to score quickly. First and 10 in the I formation for Drew Lock. He's going to pitch it right to Melvin Gordon, who's going to get around the defender and get about 8 yards on the play. Great use of acceleration by Melvin Gordon. Then I go right back to that I formation as Drew Lock's going to find Jerry Jeudy on the curl route. That is another first down. First and 10 at the 15-yard line. Drew Lock's going to take the snap. He's going to throw it up for Cortland Sutton, who's going to come down with the catch. Cortland Sutton touchdown. That is something you got to do as a young quarterback. Trust your veteran wide receivers, your physical wide receiver playmaker. And Cortland Sutton is just that type of guy for Drew Lock. Well covered, but just able to use his body as momentum to get the ball. Looking at the replay here, this looks like a typical man coverage play by the Buccaneers. As you can see, Noah Fant's being covered by Jason Pierre-Paul, who isn't that great in coverage, so maybe we could have tested Noah Fant as well. But looking at Melvin Gordon, he was also covered by Levante David. I mean, Drew Lock could have easily dumped it down to Melvin, maybe get an extra 5 yards on the play if he wasn't going for the touchdown. But Drew Lock just decided to test his best wide receiver who came up with the ball. And Noah Fant looked like he was about to get open here on the post. And as you can see, the 2 hitch routes are well covered by the Buccaneer defense. But Cortland Sutton, the big playmaker for this offense, who I think is the best playmaker on this offense other than Phillip Lindsay, is able to go up for the ball on Carlton Davis III and just make a great play against a great corner. Brandon McManus with the extra point attempt here, and he's going to put Denver up 7-3 to about a minute and a half going into the second quarter, and the Broncos are already leading in this game. On the ensuing kickoff, McManus is going to kick it out of the end zone, which is going to lead a touchback for the Buccaneers.
The Bucs take over
first and 10 at the 25-yard line for Tom Brady. He's going to take the snap, and he's going to dump it down to, looks like that was O.J. Howard on the play. Brought down by Bryce Callahan. After about a gain of 3 for the Buccaneers, Tom Brady is going to take the snap in the single back formation. That is Leonard Fournette in the backfield, who's going to stretch the defense and get the first down. About a gain of 9 on the play. Great play by the former Jacksonville Jaguar, who signed with the Buccaneers shortly after being released by the Jags. First and 10 at the 36-yard line for Brady. He's going to take the snap, and he's going to try throwing it up for, that looks like Chris Godwin, but both Kareem Jackson and A.J. Boye in coverage are able to knock it away. Second and 10 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And there's a lot of pressure, and Tom Brady's going to go back down to the turf. That is A.J. Johnson credited with the sack, but he was not the only one to get into that backfield. It looked like Bryce Callahan and Von Miller were also about to converge to get that sack. That was like a triple deluxe sandwich there. Great play by the defense of the Broncos, and that's gonna bring up 3rd and long for Tom Brady and the Bucs. After the sack, 3rd and 16 for Tom Brady. He's going to be in the shotgun with LaShawn McCoy to his left. And Brady's going to take the snap. He's going to dump it down to Rob Gronkowski in the flat, but that only gets about a gain of maybe 4 yards. It's going to bring up 4th and 12, and the Bucs are going to have to punt.
A gain of 4 yards.
After the great defensive drive by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Drew Lott's going to take the snap again, and Melvin Gordon gets brought down. It looked like he almost had the edge on that play, but great play by the defender to wrap up before he could get anything more. 2nd and 9 for Drew Lock and the Broncos, and he's going to find Cortland Sutton on the slant route. A nice first down conversion by Drew Lock and the Broncos, going towards that great receiver for Denver. 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Drew Lock's going to take the snap. He's going to roll out, and he's actually going to take off on this play. Drew Lock has some wheels. He's going to get out of bounds. A little bit of a late hit on Lavonte David. I'm surprised there was a flag on that play. That is a gain of 25 yards for the young quarterback, able to use his legs to move the chains. Great play by Drew Lock to get the first down, and even more. I mean, there was a couple good blocks on that play, and that's going to bring up 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line of Tampa Bay. Drew Lock's going to find Jerry Jeudy on the out route, get about a gain of 6 on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd and 4 for Drew Lock. He's going to hand it off to Melvin Gordon on the counter, but great play by Devin White to wrap up the running back. 3rd and 4.
It's now 3rd down and 4.
Drew Lock's going to take the snap here, and he's going to dump it down to Cortland Sutton on the drag route. A great play by Drew Lock to find his receiver. That was about a gain of 9 on the play, even though it was a pretty short route by Cortland, able to use that large body of his to reach forward for a couple more yards. Drew Lock in his young career has targeted Cortland Sutton a lot, and it definitely pays if that's going to be the result. 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. Noah Fant in motion. Melvin Gordon's going to take the snap. He's going to break a tackle, and he's going to almost reach for that first down marker. So they're going to call it 2nd and inches. Drew Lock with the snap, and he's going to almost be picked off, and that's the 2-minute warning. Drew Lock with a very bad mistake, as Melvin Gordon's going to take the next snap and get the first down marker up to the 6-yard line. 1st and goal for the Broncos. Drew Lock's going to take the snap. He's going to throw, and it's going to be intercepted by Lavonte David. An interesting decision by Lock to go with the Melvin Gordon route, but I guess he never saw David on the play, and looking at the coverage behind him, it didn't look like anyone else was open. Great play by David to get the interception. 1st and 10 at the 10-yard line for the Buccaneers after the interception of Drew Lock. Tom Brady's going to dump it down. That is LaShawn McCoy once again in the game. It's going to lead up to a 2nd and 4. Tom Brady in the shotgun by himself. And it looks like he's going to find, I think there was LaShawn McCoy on the play as well. He's going to pick up the first down. But it looks like the booth is going to actually review this play. Interesting call to review the play. It looked like it was a pretty great pass and catch by LaShawn McCoy. As you can see, both feet 1 and 2 right before the line of the out-of-bounds marker. That was just a great play by LaShawn McCoy to not make sure he doesn't get out of bounds, as this ruling is most likely going to be, most likely going to stand. On the next play, 1st and 10 for Tom Brady. As you can see, his little X on the bottom is lighting up. He's going to dump it down to Taywan Taylor. And originally, they're going to call this a catch, but they're actually going to overturn the play. There was another weird booth review play, but they overturned the play on the initial review, as you can see here. After the ruling was changed to an incomplete pass, it's going to lead up to 2nd and 10 for Tom Brady. Justin Simmons bringing the pressure, and Tom Brady's going to throw the ball towards Mike Evans, who bounces off his hands. Michael Ojemudia in coverage. As you can see, the draft class for the Broncos, Ojemudia taken in that 3rd round. I think the Broncos had a great draft class this year. It's going to bring up 3rd and 10. Tom Brady is going to hand it off to Leonard Fournette, who's going to be stopped short of the first down marker. Just get up to the 32-yard line, and Denver's going to call a timeout. They want some more points before the end of the half.
He's tackled at the 32-yard line. A gain of 6 yards on the play.
Bradley Pinion with the punt formation. He's going to punt the ball away to Deontay Spencer, who's going to field the kick. and tries to make a move, but isn't able to go further than the 29-yard line. Denver's going to start with 1st and 10 with about 45 seconds left in the half. Drew Lock, 8 of 14 for 103 yards, 1 touchdown, but on that last series, 1 interception. 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line. Drew Lock's going to take the snap. He's going to immediately throw it to Noah Fant. I don't know what Drew Lock was thinking there. If he would have let the play develop for a couple more seconds, he might have had something more over the top. But decided to go to his tight end for a short yardage situation, even though they do not have a lot of time on their side. They do have 1 timeout remaining. Drew Lock with the snap. He's going to dump it down to Jerry Jeudy. He's going to tie rope on the sideline and get bumped out at the 49-yard line. Great run and catch by Jeudy, the rookie.
First and 10 at the 49.
After that play to Jerry Jeudy, Drew Lock's going to have 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. He's going to throw it deep, and he's going to connect with Deshaun Hamilton up to about the 19-yard line. Great play for about 31 yards. Deshaun Hamilton is not a name you hear that much in Denver anymore, especially with the new additions of Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler. Lock on the next play is going to dump it down to Andrew Beck, but Beck took a while to get touched down to the ground, and that's not going to be enough time for Denver to spike the ball and go for a field goal. A little bit of an error on Vic Fangio's mindset there. Thought he had enough time to go up to the line of scrimmage and spike the ball, but great play by the Buccaneer defense to not touch down Andrew Beck until a couple seconds ran off. We are going into halftime, and looking at the halftime report, we have a couple games that we want to watch kind of on that bottom ticker and look at the scores of this games right here. As you can see, Los Angeles Chargers are up against the Carolina Panthers. Justin Herbert, 2 touchdowns, 13 of 17 for 143 yards. Keenan Allen with a touchdown. Our opponents for next week on Thursday Night Football, the New York Jets, are going up against the Colts, and they hold a 21-7 comfortable lead. Sam Darnold with a touchdown, as well as Le'Veon Bell with a rushing touchdown. Rashad Perryman with 4 receptions for 60 yards. And finally, the Las Vegas Raiders and the New England Patriots. We play the Patriots after the Jets, and they picked up a great win over the Raiders. Derek Carr only threw for 14 times for 84 yards. Interesting call by the Raiders coaching. As Drew Lock, as well as throwing 1 touchdown, he has thrown another interception in this game. Let's see if the Broncos can bounce back from that mistake and the mistake at the end of half. But once again, this was a great pass to Courtland Sutton on that scoring drive. After halftime, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get the ball first, and they're going to take the snap with Tom Brady. He's going to find Chris Godwin on the drag route, who gets wrapped up by Justin Simmons on the play. That's going to bring up about a 2nd and 1. Good gain of 9 by Chris Godwin.
A gain of 9.
2nd and 1 for the Buccaneers. Brady in the shotgun. The Denver cornerbacks and safeties are going to show blitz. And it's a run to Leonard Fournette, or LaShawn McCoy, and he's going to be wrapped up by Alexander Johnson after about a gain of 1, but still picked up the first down. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Tom Brady's going to dump it down. That is O.J. Howard wide open near the sideline. He's going to be wrapped up by Duke Dawson Jr. after about a gain of 4. 2nd and 6 for Brady. He's going to find Mike Evans on a drag route. The drags have been working perfectly fine for the Buccaneers. It's going to be 1st and 10, and they're going to find Taywan Taylor on yet another drag route. So far, this Denver defense has not found a way to stop the drag routes from this team. It's going to be a 2nd and inches. Looks like that's Mike Evans in motion, but he's going to take the snap, and you're going to find another wide open drag. The drag routes have been killing the Buccaneers, or been killing the Broncos defense so far. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Looks like that is going to be either LaShawn McCoy or Leonard Fournette going out into the wide receiver position. It's going to be yet another drag route to O.J. Howard. That's going to pick up about a gain of 4 to 5 on the play.
Brady's pass pickup.
After the play, 2nd and 6, Tom Brady in the shotgun once again. He's going to find LaShawn McCoy out of the backfield on the Texas route. That's going to be yet another first down for this Tampa Bay team. 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line, nearing the red zone. Tom Brady's going to take the snap, and he's going to throw it away before he gets hit. That was Von Miller on the pressure. Second and 10 for the Buccaneers. And he's going to find Chris Godwin on the crossing route, going up against Von Miller. You don't want to see him in coverage way too often. And that's going to be a false start on the next play, 1st and goal. That is against the rookie right tackle. That is Tristan Wirfs. Interesting rookie mistake. 1st and goal for the Buccaneers. They're going to take the snap. Tom Brady's going to be backpedaling, and he's going to lose the football. But luckily, the Buccaneers are able to pick it up. That was Bradley Chubb and Von Miller on the sacks. And Von Miller is credited with half a sack on that play. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are backed up all the way to the 32-yard line on 2nd and goal. Brady with the snap. He's going to dump it down to Gronkowski, who gets a good chunk of that back, about 10 yards, but that's going to bring out 3rd and goal for the Buccaneers. They wanted to add a touchdown and maybe take the lead against the Broncos, but good defensive play by Von Miller and Bradley Chubb were able to back them up here, as Brady's going to find a check down there, and that's going to lead to another field goal. After a Ryan Succop field goal, Drew Lock's going to take possession back, and he's going to find Noah Fant on the flat route. And he's going to get about a gain of 5 yards on the play.
Brings up 2nd and 5.
2nd and 5. Drew Lock's going to have a little bit of an RPO and going to throw it to Jerry Jeudy on the bubble screen. And he's going to pick up the 1st down. That was about a gain of 10 on the play. He's going to hand it off to Melvin Gordon the next play, who looked like he had a giant hole to run up the middle, but great play by the defensive back to get away from that. 2nd and 4 for Denver, and he's going to find Jerry Jeudy on the in route. That's another 1st down for Jerry Jeudy, and that's a 1st down for the Broncos at the 48-yard line. Drew Lock in the shotgun. It's going to be play action to Melvin Gordon. He's going to roll out. He has Noah Fant wide open, but he's going to get hit from behind, and he's going to be intercepted by Jamal Dean on the play. Another mistake by Drew Lock, but you can't really fault him there as the end of the 3rd quarter comes. That was just a great play by the defensive play of the Buccaneers, able to hit the quarterback as soon as he was throwing the ball. 1st and 10 for Brady and the Bucs. He's going to dump it down to LaShawn McCoy, who gets out of bounds around the 23-yard line. 2nd and 6 for the Buccaneers. Brady in the shotgun here. He's going to take the snap. He's going to quickly throw to Gronkowski, but it's going to be knocked away by Michael Ojemudia on the play. Great play by the rookie. 3rd and 6 for the Buccaneers. The Broncos want to at least hold to a field goal here, as he's going to take the snap. He's going to find a wide open O.J. Howard in the middle of the field. I don't know what was happening with the coverage on that play, but O.J. Howard gets the Buccaneers up to the 4-yard line. 1st and goal for Tom Brady, who's going to hand it off to Leonard Fournette on the next play, and he's going to cross the goal line. Touchdown, Leonard Fournette and the Buccaneers.
Leonard Fournette on the carry. Touchdown.
Tom Brady and the Bucs are going to go for 2 here to make it a 7-point game, and he's going to take the snap. He's going to drop back, and he's going to try throwing it. It gets hit by Von Miller, and it gets batted down by Bradley Chubb. The 2-point diversion no good, as the Broncos are now down only by 5. Drew Lock with the snaps. He's going to find Melvin Gordon on his own Texas route. He's going to go down to the ground after the ball. That's about a gain of 5 on the play. The Broncos need to limit those mistakes and turnovers that they've been having recently. As Drew Lock's going to take the snap, he's going to roll to the right, and he's going to dump it down to Melvin Gordon in the middle of the field, left uncovered. And it's going to be a face mask for the Denver Broncos, and that's going to add another 15 yards to that end of that play. Carlton Davis, who got mossed by Cortland Sutton earlier. 1st and 10 for Denver. It's going to be a screen pass to Melvin Gordon, who's going to make a move to get over the 1st down marker. Great juke inside to get up to the 22-yard line. 1st down, Broncos. They are driving. 1st and 10 for Denver. Is going to take the snap. Noah Fant's going to come back for the ball. A little bit of a bad throw by Locke there, who forces Noah Fant to lose 2 on the play after the bad throw. After the bad throw by Drew Lock, 2nd and 12. He's going to dump it down to Jerry Jeudy on the out route, get up to about the 20-yard line. 3rd and 8 on the play now. This is a great way for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get off the field. As Drew Lott's going to find Jerry Jeudy. He has running room, and he's going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Jerry Jeudy and the Denver Broncos. Jeudy's second touchdown of the season. He had that one touchdown against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the simulation of Week 2. He finally gets another one today. As the Broncos are known for 2 points here, and Drew Lott's going to find a wide open Noah Fant to make it a 15-12 game, 3-point lead for the Broncos. Tom Brady's used to being down in the fourth quarter. He's made plenty of miraculous fourth quarter comebacks. As he's going to be hit on the throw by Von Miller, and he's going to miss LaShawn McCoy on the dump down. That is 2nd and 10 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now, down by 3. Tom Brady in the shotgun bunch formation to the left side of your screen. And he's going to take the ball, and he's going to do a play action here. He's going to dump it down to Gronk, who breaks a tackle, but Bryce Callahan able to bump him out of bounds. Great play by the veteran cornerback. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 9 for the Buccaneers. And if the Broncos force a 4th and out here, or 3 and out here, it could probably put him in a great position to waste some more clock. 3rd and 9 for the Buccaneers, and Brady, who's going to be hit again while he throws. That is once again Bradley Chubb and Von Miller. Having both of them on the field at the same time is just a wonderful combination to have for this team. As it's going to be another Bradley Pinion punt. 1st and 10 for Drew Lock and the Broncos, up by 3. It's going to be a draw to Melvin Gordon, who's going to break an initial tackle and get about a gain of 12 on the play. Great run by Melvin, and great way to not be brought down by first contact. That reminded me of a run Philip Lindsay's made before.
1st and 10 at the
After the impressive run by Melvin Gordon on 1st down, it's going to be another 1st down at the 38-yard line. It's going to be a jet sweep to Jerry Jeudy. Maybe could have kicked it outside for a little bit more yardage, but able to get close to the 1st down marker. KJ Hamler's going to check in, and it's going to be the same play, and he's going to make a move and spin, and he's going to be finally brought down at the 47-yard line. That is a 1st down by KJ Hamler on the same jet sweep that Jerry Jeudy just took. 1st and 10 at the Tampa Bay 47. Drew Lock in possession to make this a first win for the Broncos. This is going to find KJ Hamler on the slant route. Great play by the young rookie. 1st and 10 for the Broncos as Drew Lock's going to fake a pump fake to hand it off to Melvin Gordon, but he's going to lose, or actually just gets up to about the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and that is going to bring up the 2-minute warning. After the 2-minute warning passes, to be 2nd and 10 is to be another handoff to Melvin Gordon. The Broncos just want to kill as much clock here as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers call their first timeout. 3rd and 4 for the Denver Broncos as Drew Lott's going to try to find Noah Fant. Almost picked off by Jason Pierre-Paul. He had back wide open for the 1st down marker, but the Broncos are going to be forced to make this a 6-point game with Brandon McManus. Now, I wasn't really worried that Brandon was going to miss this kick. He's always good at making field goals. As the Broncos are going to go up 18-12 with about a minute and a half left in this game. After the kickoff, the Buccaneers are going to take the ball at the 25-yard line. Tom Brady's going to find O.J. Howard up the seam, and the Buccaneers are already en route to make this a great possession for them. It's 1st and 10 at the 50, and it's going to be another pass to O.J. Howard, brought down by Alexander Johnson. It's going to be another 2nd and 5 for the Buccaneers. Tom Brady's going to throw the ball. He's going to find Chris Godwin, who basically confuses Kareem Jackson on the play. 3rd and 2 for the Buccaneers. They are running out of clock. They have a minute left in this game as Leonard Fournette's going to split out wide as a wide receiver. Tom Brady's going to throw the ball, and it's going to be picked off! Picked off by Alexander Johnson. He's going to run up to about the 27-yard line. The Broncos might have just sealed this game. Alexander Johnson picks off Tom Brady with about a minute left. He was going for Chris Godwin, but Johnson read it the entire way. 1st down and 10. And honestly, if the Broncos hit a 1st down here, they can kneel the ball out, as that is going to be Tampa Bay's last time out. 2nd down and 9. It's going to be another handoff to Melvin Gordon. who gets about a gain of 1 on the play. And honestly, this is where the Broncos are going to kneel the ball out. 20 seconds left on the clock. This was a great team effort by the Broncos. 2 touchdowns thrown by Drew Lock, but also had 2 interceptions. The run game actually got going pretty well, even though Melvin Gordon was not able to find the end zone. And that is your ball game. The Denver Broncos are finally in the win column with a big win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A big win over Tom Brady. And as much as Tom Brady wants to get out of the heat from New England, there's no way that he is not going to have a losing record to the Broncos at the end of his career. As you look at the end of game stats here, we had him beat in every category except for takeaways. While they intercepted us twice, we picked off Tom Brady once and held him from getting into the end zone himself. Looking at the stats here, Drew Lock threw for almost, this was just a great team effort by the Broncos here. As you can see here, we had 17 first downs to their 15. We had 355 total yards of offense. We had 106 rushing yards, 249 passing yards. We controlled the time of possession. And Drew Lock here, 249 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 73% completion. While Tom Brady threw for just 230 yards and no touchdowns. Only threw that late interception to Alexander Johnson trying to find Chris Godwin on the hitch route. For rushing, Melvin Gordon, 15 carries for 67 yards. Leonard Fournette and LaShawn McCoy were tough opponents to bring down, but the Broncos defense really locked up for them. Drew Lock took off once for about 25 yards. Obviously lost a yard on the kneel. And both KJ Hamler and Jerry Jeudy had successful jet sweeps. Similar plays for the both of them, but able to get around the defense. On the day, Jerry Jeudy 8 for 95 and a touchdown. Cortland Sutton had 4 for 48 and a touchdown. Both wide receivers had a great game today, able to move the ball downfield. It was a great way to attack this Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. A great play by someone who isn't really talked about a lot. Deshaun Hamilton, 31 yards downfield to set up close to another field goal for the Broncos if they didn't blunder that halftime mistake. On the defense, Jarrell Casey, Von Miller, and Alexander Johnson all had sacks. This was the first game of the season that Drew Lock has not been sacked, and that is just great. While Jamal Dean, Levante David picked off Drew Lock, one of them was a hit behind Drew Lock that forced the interception. But Alexander Johnson had the interception of the game. Alexander Johnson picks off Tom Brady to end the game with about a minute left, and all the Broncos had to do was kneel the ball out. After the win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we have one upgrade, and that is going to be for Malik Reed, a backup right outside linebacker who I think can be a great number 3 pass rusher. As you can see his stats here, he definitely has some speed on him. Obviously 77 isn't a lot, but 87 excel. We're going to keep going with that speed rusher archetype, and he's going to go up to a 69 overall, and he's going to get a +1 to awareness and a +2 to finesse moves. So his finesse goes up to 72. Great upgrade for him. We're going to sim ahead to the next week so we can check out the stats of the Jets, but also to check and see if we have some more upgrades. And it looks like we do, as well as more scouting and more people to negotiate contracts with, which we will talk about next episode. But the players for the upgrades this time is Netane Moody, who played great as center this game. We're going to give him a power upgrade. He's going to go up to 70 overall, +1 to awareness, +2 to run block finesse, and just look at that. 96 strength for our center. Just great. Great player to have as that interior offensive lineman. And Jerry Jeudy's going to get an upgrade. He's already a 75 overall wide receiver. And looking at his stats, we gotta get something to go up for catching and route running. So we're gonna go with the slot upgrade. He's gonna go up to a 76 overall. +1 to catching traffic, +1 to catching, and +2 to short route running. That is always a great sign to see the catching go up. He already has great speed. The Jets handled business against the Indianapolis Colts. Sam Darnold threw for nearly 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, while Phillip Rivers was intercepted once, but also threw 2 touchdowns. Le'Veon Bell had a touchdown on the ground, as well as LaMichael Pirine, who didn't get that many touches in this game. For the Jets, Brashad Perriman had a touchdown at the end of the day, as well as Le'Veon Bell in the pass game as well, who caught a ball for 22 yards and the touchdown. For sacks for the Jets, Damian Harris, it looks like Patrick Onuwasar also got on the board for a sack. And looking at the interceptions here, it looks like it is Pierre Desir who picked off Phillip Rivers at the end of that game. The Jets look like they are a tough team to beat. Hopefully we can take them down in week 4 as we go to New York to take them on Thursday Night Football. We have 3 straight games against the AFC East, up against the Jets, obviously, next episode, the Patriots, the episode after that, and the Dolphins after the Patriots. And then we take on the reigning and defending Super Bowl champions. My name is the Fluke Guy Games. Obviously, I wish that this series could have gone a totally different route with the simulation style, but I actually had a lot of fun playing the game this time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, go check out the other episodes when we took on the Tennessee Titans, even though it's not the same style as this. It's going to definitely lead to a lot in the future. I greatly appreciate all the views that I've gotten on the previous episode. I hope you guys have a great day. See you later.